o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. And Kevin, would you call the roll, please?
Miss Least?
Here.
Mrs. Sweet?
Here.
Mr. Bear?
Here.
Mr. Whitaker? Mr. Avery? Mr. Hannah?
And council does have a quorum. Would you please join me in pledging allegiance to our flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And good evening, everyone. This is the regular session of the Enon Village Council. This is Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024. Additions to our agenda this evening.
Motion to excuse Mr. Whitaker, and Mr. Avery just notified me he's not up to being here this evening.
Okay, we need a second.
Second.
And call roll, please.
Miss Least?
Yes.
Mrs. Sweet?
Yes.
Mr. Bear?
Yes.
Mr. Hannah?
Yes.
All right, that motion passes. We'll be looking at minutes and financial reports next at our next meeting when Rob will be present. So I'm going to go into communications. The Planning Commission met back on July 16th, which was a week ago, to hear a case that would have been 2024-03. And we had received an application from John Vanderglass and Shelley Wiley for the properties located at 150 and 160 North Xenia Street. And the request was to combine those two parcels into one. After hearing information from the staff and from the applicants, the commission voted unanimously to approve that lot combination. And that is going to be the site of the future brewery, so it will be more compliant with the lot size for a B3 business operation. And now, Kevin, just to confirm, you did check in the zoning codes, and that does not need to come before the council, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so just for informational purposes. Are there any other items of communication? I'll turn it over to you, Kevin, for staff reports.
Okay, thank you, Mayor,
Good evening.
Council, residents. First item there, OPWC project update. Actually, the new one that we're going to submit to OPWC, it's due August the 5th. I did talk to the engineers, getting quotes on the water loop for Cardinal Tank, or from Cardinal Tank back in Houck Meadows there. Also, we're getting estimates on a natural gas generator, new generator for the water plant, and a propane generator for well number 4, since there is nothing back there at well number 4. Also, we're trying to get a price on an upgrade at the electric at the water plant. Basically, the panels and the trunk line going into the water plant is getting in pretty bad shape, rusted up, and things like that. So we're going to hopefully get had the electricians out there today. Hopefully we get a quote back in time to maybe submit that in with that project. So we'll see what happens. In the past, it didn't score high enough, but we'll see what happens. So we're hoping by adding this water loop in that might help it score.
Well, in the previous project, let's clarify, it was the majority of that was for the construction of a new laboratory.
Right.
And where this is
Expanded.
like directly related to the operation, so we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Keep our fingers crossed. So, but like I say, the submission has to be in by the end of day on August 5th. So we'll get something submitted and see how it scores. We should know, because August the 7th then is the meeting where the board kind of divvies up the extra points, and so we'll see how it scores. So. Eagle Scout project update. Olivia's here tonight. The mounts are in. Everything's going great. Concrete was poured, and we are going to be installing the 3 flagpoles on August the 8th. Thursday, August the 8th. We'll be installing that. Then she'll have some final touch-ups to do and things like that. But I mean, she can explain that if she'd like during the public section there. But overall, she's doing a fabulous job.
They're doing a great job.
Fabulous job. So.
And I think I saw more female scouts from Troop 17 doing the hard labor than the male scouts. So good for you guys.
I think she's got a career in project management.
Yeah.
She's done good. So.
Yeah. Well, I think Mom had something to do with that. So.
August 14th, BZA will be meeting here to hear a setback variance for a building addition for 180 Green Valley Drive. That will be at August 14th at 6:30. I did put an ad on the website for a part-time general laborer. We do have one application so far. We'll see how that, if we get any more. I will be out tomorrow and Thursday. I'll be working. I'll be moving my mother into assisted living, so I'll have my phone if anybody needs to get a hold of me. And in front of you is a letter that was generated to send out to Violet Braylon for her artwork accomplishment that I'm going to send out to her. Get that out in the mail tomorrow. So,
Mrs. Sweet, do you want to add anything to that?
If anybody's seen her artwork, it is on the Green and website. It is fantastic. She was an 8th grader going into 9th grade now, but this is her 2nd year of winning the award, the Achievement Award, and her artwork is called The Glisten of Crimson. It looks like a giant picture of a rose with dew on it. It's just gorgeous. Anyway, it's currently being displayed at the United States Capitol building during the month of July. So the mayor is asking if we can maybe hang it in here for a while too, to celebrate her achievement. She's quite the artist, actually.
Thank you.
I think that's all I have for now, Mayor.
Questions for our administrator? Okay. Thanks, Kevin, for your report. Thanks for your work. Chief, I'll turn it over to you. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, residents. In front of the council, you'll see that you have the June stats for our department. Break them down. Nothing looks too outside of the normal. 35 stops, 126 stops, 35 citations. Assists down to some of the LE agencies seem to be down, but other than that, about average, what we've been statting for the months. Number 2, we'll skip that. I think that'll be covered later. National Night Out, August 6th, just to remind everybody, because that's coming up. Again, that'll be 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. down at the Enon Park. Just trying to think. We're going to try to bring back tug of war. I was kind of put that out there now, so maybe Mr. Bear could pass that on across the street. We'd like to humbly take a defeat in that or win one or the other, but we hadn't had that the last couple of years. We blamed COVID for a while, but it's gone, so it's time to bring her back. I'm sorry, I'm just getting over or still getting through some sort of severe sinus infection. Excuse the throat clearing. Application for a parade permit out at Cimarron Trail in August 2024. I went ahead and signed that, but I just wanted to let council and the residents know that the sponsors of that event, Jackie Potter, Lisa Ware, Melissa Jewell, they're going to have a block party there, and residents should be aware that we'll have that street shut off for them from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. I didn't go out and speak to every resident. I'm just taking it on account that they did. I've heard in the past that block parties are very popular here in Enon, that they've done them out at the West Hunter Road area and such. And so I hope this is a good one. If anybody has any concerns or need anything from our agency or the village, just please contact us and we'll help as much as we can.
And we always tell the participants that they need to make sure they have accommodation for emergency vehicles. So make sure that gets passed along if you would. We haven't seen any in recent years. There for a while, West Hunter Drive, every year they were having one. Never had an issue that I was aware of, but we always make sure it's like, look, you gotta have a path for fire truck, ambulance, police department, whatever, and that's never been a problem. So, thank you.
And then just kind of overall law enforcement for from the Attorney General's office. Last year, the Attorney General got together with law enforcement agencies in OPATA, and they were discussing some of the training, particularly the PT standards for the academy. But I did get a letter. There had been some talks of it, but it looks like on May 9th of 24 that the Ohio Peace Officers Training Commission adopted the new certification standards. So instead of, for those of you who don't know, there's a push-up, sit-ups, and a run. They're called the Cooper Standards that when police officers go through the initial basic police academy, they have to meet certain criteria to even be able to go on to take the written state exam. And that does wash out, as an instructor for several years in the academy, I can tell you that does, we'll say, wash out some what I would consider some candidates that would make great law enforcement officers. It just maybe they were a few seconds off on a run. But fitness is a part of our career, but as the years go on, it's not as necessarily required. In fact, most agencies don't even require it after that initial set. So law enforcement does miss, in my opinion, and evidently everybody else's, some good qualified candidates. So they've got it to where they need to only pass 2 of the 3, and so if they would pass 2, then they only need to be able to do at least 75% of the 3rd standard at the end, by the end of the academy. So I think that will be help. I've seen people miss the run. Usually is what gets a lot of people, and I'll just give you an example. For if you're 29 and under, at the end of the academy, you're expected to do a 1.5 mile run at 11:58. Now I know there's a lot of folks in this community that run the 5Ks, but for those folks that aren't runners, that's not exactly easy. And then they are required to do 40 sit-ups and 33 push-ups. Now that's for a male under 29, and then of course as the age goes up, they give you a little bit of credit. But so in that particular, since then, I've seen them fail by a second on the run, and the state is very, there is no sway the other way. You either got it or you don't. So I think that's going to be helpful to law enforcement. I'm anxious to see how the next year or so goes after they do that, but my understanding that's in effect here now.
So, Mike, is it any 2 out of the 3? It doesn't have to be.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep. My understanding. Yep. It says that an individual must meet the N standards in 2 of the 3 categories on the first final PT exam, and at least 75% of the progress expected in the 3rd category. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
What's the runtime for a 70-year-old?
About an hour.
Ask him. Are you asking for a friend?
It just says ... It would be 15:56, so you'd still be out. No, I'm sorry.
That's male and female both, correct?
No, they have male and female. So for the 60 plus, no, they actually get 18:52. Females 29 and under, they have to do a 1.5 miles at the end at 14:07. So, but at any rate, I think that'll be helpful. I know. I like it, and they'll be able to get their basic level, the officer at basic level, because again, the states looks like they're going to implement those tier levels of officers. So I'm happy to see OPATA go through with this in the state. I know the state of Ohio is very well recognized for their training of law enforcement in the nation. I know there's places that are probably better, but I know we rank right up there at the top. At least that's what I've been told. So at any rate, I just wanted to share that with you. And we have one other thing, we have some young individuals that are going around knocking on doors and windows. The police department, we did take a report of it, but I encourage citizens, even though you still reach out to the Facebook pages in the area, if you could contact law enforcement with that information. I do have officers that catch that information periodically, but it's best if it's shared with law enforcement, so you know for sure that we know that way that we can check the areas. But
Needs to be documented.
Yeah,
It has to be recorded somewhere.
yeah. And then, a lot of times it is juveniles in this time, because their school's out, so parents just double check your teenagers. That's right now. That's the last little group looks to be teens. But at any rate, if the residents get nothing else, call us. We'll take a report. If there wasn't if it's not a criminal offense, that's fine. But it keeps us aware, and it also helps us have a timeline, so we can help the community better if the community reports it to us. Again, not always social media might be the best answer for your friends, but not always for law enforcement. So, but thank you.
Questions for our chief?
I have one question. I didn't get the date for that parade on Cimarron.
Oh, it's August 24th,
Thank you.
4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
I got the time.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Let's see, any committee reports tonight? Let's go into, we do have an executive session scheduled. Let's go into comments from the public. Olivia, would you like to address the council this evening? Just state your name and your address.
My name's Olivia Young. My address is 8966 Haddocks Road, Fairborn, Ohio. My Eagle project, as most of you know, is those flagpoles outside in the front of the government building. Mr. Kevin already stated that the flagpoles will go up hopefully August 8th. After that, it'll be working on the flower bed around that and getting the flowers. So far, I'm thinking petunias and daylilies as the flowers. And as for colors, it's going to be colorful and maybe even red, white, and blue to match the American flag. But that's about it for now.
Very
We're
nice.
making progress, and
You guys are doing a great job.
thank you. Thank you.
Any questions for Olivia? Thanks, Olivia.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's going to look really nice when it's completed. Any other comments? All right, I would entertain a motion and a second to enter into executive session to discuss the employment, compensation, and appointment of a village employee.
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
And call the roll, Kevin. Please.
Ms. Least,
Yes.
Mrs. Sweet,
Yes.
Mr. Bear,
Yes.
Mr. Hannah.
Yes.
6:16.
And this will be elected officials only at this time.
Is there any action coming out?
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yep. Nope, it's all good.
Okay, I move that we come back.
Are we missing
in-
somebody?
Oh, we are, aren't we? Are we?
No.
No,
Oh,
we're not.
no.
No, we're not. It
Okay.
just feels
You're
like it. Okay, I move that we come back in from executive session.
A second.
And call the roll, please.
Ms. Least,
Yes.
Mrs. Sweet,
Yes.
Mr. Bear,
Yes.
Mr. Hannah.
Yes.
6:57.
Rick?
Move for adjournment.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned.
6:58.
Man, it took us a whole minute.
No, it's actually a few seconds, but that's how the clock rolls, you know?